Then a devastating fire rips through a historic church in Somers. It started just before midnight at the Congregational United Church of Christ. State police are now trying to figure out how it started while the community vows to rebuild. Fox Connecticut's Jen Bernstein is live in Somers now with the latest. Jen.
Brent, state police say they are treating this as a criminal investigation. They're right now following leads and gathering information, but aren't giving many more details than that. Now, this is a very historic landmark here in the center of Somers, and now its charred remains obviously are all that's left. Its classic steeple was the first thing you'd see coming into the center of town from all directions. That has collapsed. To make matters worse, you can see the house next door has fire damage and is boarded up. Obviously, whoever lives there, not there tonight. Now, this church is a big part of the community. It is known not only as a religious venue, but also as a place where community events were held. For example, the largest food pantry in the area was located here. Now, this church has been in town since 1842, so it certainly is a big part of this town's culture and history. Now, take a look at this video shot last night by a Somers resident. You can see the firefighters trying to put it out, but this was obviously an incredibly large fire, and the church is an older wooden building. Residents said they could see the smoke and flames from miles away. Somers Volunteer Fire was joined by other departments, including Stafford, Ellington, and Enfield.
We really got a call for smoke in the area of the church and the Somers Inn down the street. First person arriving did find heavy smoke in the area and ultimately saw flames coming from the window. I've lived here most of my life. This church certainly has been here that entire time. It is a central meeting point for many of the people in town every Sunday, and certainly, that will be missed.
There's no official word on the cause yet, but initial reports point towards something igniting in the basement. Now, meanwhile, parishioners and the community are vowing to rebuild this church. Fox Connecticut's George Colley was there earlier today and has reaction.
For Timothy Anderson, this charred pile of wood is much more than just a place to pray on Sundays. It represents generations of family traditions.
My parents were married here. I was baptized here. My Nana was moderator here. She was deacon here before me. I was confirmed here. I've been going here all my life.
In rural Somers, the tall steeple of the Congregational United Church of Christ would be the first thing one would see as they approached the town center. As the word spread of its destruction, the community came together, hugging, crying, staring at this piece of Somers history forever gone.
It's really the center of the town, and it's a huge loss.
State Representative Penny Bacchiacchi was married here this past August.
It was a beautiful day, and at that time I had no idea that, that would be one of the last opportunities I had to be in the building.
Just across the street at Town Hall, a prayer service was held at noon by the church's Reverend Dr. Barry Cass. He remains in shock by what he saw in the overnight and by the outpouring of support from his neighbors.
I was here last night watching it burn and watching the steeple cave in. And then here today, it's still unbelievable. Along with church services and a preschool, the church also housed everything from Girl Scout to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. I don't think you could grow up in Somers without having been touched by this building, by being in the building, and therefore, by the congregation then.
Now it's time for us to help them. And Somers is a wonderful, wonderful place to live, and we will get through this. It's been a tough year, but we will get through this, and we'll get through it together.
It will be rebuilt. It'll be a better church.
Reverend Cass says that churches all up and down Route 190 have already offered up their space for this congregation so they could meet on Sundays. Reverend Cass says he doesn't know where it will be, but he guarantees they will be worshiping somewhere as a church this Sunday. From Somers, George Colley, Fox, Connecticut.
A park ranger